Man, oh man, if you learned this at 18, your life would be completely different.
All right, kids, I'm giving you $100 each. Be smart and don't spend it all in one place. Oh boy, I'm buying all the candy today. What do you do with your money? Well, Dad said to be smart with his money, so I'm gonna hold on and invest it. You teens have been doing a great job. I've spoken to upper management, and we're gonna give you guys a raise. Oh yeah, time to get a new car. Hey Billy, you wanna get a matching sports car with me? No thanks. I'm gonna pretend like I never got the raise, and I'm gonna invest the difference. Suit yourself. You guys have been doing a great job. Here are your yearly bonuses. All right, time to upgrade the pool at my house. Hey Billy, let me guess. I'm gonna invest it. Actually, I'm gonna spend it. In fact, this is my last paycheck here since I'm retiring. Come on. We've been earning the same amount of money our entire lives, and I barely have $30,000 saved. How are you able to retire? I've been investing as much as I could for the past 30 years, and my investments have now grown to over $1.5 million. I saw you spend a lot of money on nice cars and fancy apartments, but I knew that if I kept saving and investing, that my net worth would eventually skyrocket. Now, I'm able to retire early, and I even picked up a sweet house along the way. Wow. Now I wish I invested with you instead of making fun of you for all these years.
Why didn't we have this growing up? Why didn't anyone teach us this growing up?
That's a very key question that everybody always asks. How come we didn't learn this? And the thing is, sometimes there are different, I guess, ideologies and different beliefs out there. That's why we don't learn this in schools. But I was fortunate enough to get this very early on, which has completely changed my life. So that's the goal of us doing what we're doing, right? To be able to give people the opportunity, be able to get access to information that can completely change their lives. So I hope, and I pray that at some point, the schools actually mandate the teaching of financial literacy in schools so that when kids come out, they could do better with their money.
Oh, for sure. And that's a big part of why we do what we do here. Why didn't we do this at birth? And, the fact that now we actually have it national news where President Trump is creating accounts for children at birth. Welcome to the Doc and the Dean. I'm the dean, former school teacher, turned licensed financial coach.
And I'm the doc. You guys already know me. My passion is finance, teaching people how to do better with their money. And I came in the medical field, professional field, biomedical field, and I just have a love for finance. So that's where I am.
So welcome to Finance Unfiltered with the Doc and the Dean. And today we're going to talk about the accounts that are already available to you. We're going to talk about the Trump account. We're going to break down, some of the accounts that are already available. And let's talk a bit about the Trump account. So what President Trump is proposing, again, this is not something that has actually gone into effect as of yet, but he's proposing a tax advantage account for children under 18. So it's expected to launch on July 4th of this year, our Freedom Day. And it is supposed to be $1,000 government seed that is put into an account, but you had to be born, I want to say late last year, up into, and he's proposing to do it up until 2028.
January 1st, 2025, up to December 31st, 2028. Is a gap to be able to get that $1,000 seed.
Parents and loved ones can also contribute. They contribute up to $5,000 annually, and the parent is going to be the custodian of the account. But the funds are going to be locked in until adulthood. And then once it's locked in, they can actually, at the age of 18, they don't have to take it out. If they don't, it'll convert to an IRA style account. I think that this is absolutely wonderful that President Trump is initiating this, because imagine how much of an impact it can make on the youth.
Yeah, I think the reason why all of this is happening is because a lot of people, unfortunately, are not able to retire when they reach the retirement stage, right? And it's becoming a huge problem in the United States, right? People for the longest time have relied on pensions, right? Before, right? A lot of companies were offering pension plans. Now, because of financial constraints and difficulties and just changing the economy, in general, many companies have gone away from pension plans. Right now, it's less than 3% of companies offering pensions, right? So people are not been having to save for themselves to have a peace of mind when it comes to their retirement, right? But if people are not properly educated on how to properly invest and know how much to invest and have enough money, when they get to that stage, they're not able to retire. That's why the retirement age at one point was 65. and now went to 67 because people are not able to retire at that age and must keep working, right? Imagine working from 18 all the way to 67, right? Because you were not properly prepared or properly taught how to do certain things, right? And also, people have relied so long on Social Security. But if you look at the Social Security right now, they run out of money unless something is drastically done.
Yeah.
If you go on the website, by 2034, they are projected to run out of money. So if Social Security run out of money, can you imagine how impactful that is going to be for a lot of people, right? So all these problems that are brewing is what is causing new ideas to be brought to the forefront. And to me, this Trump account is a very powerful account. That's because, right, the government is also assisted with the initial seed, which a lot of times is a challenge for many families, right? So for $1,000 starting, even if you don't add a dollar to it, if you leave that money for 20, 30 or so years, that can be a lot of money, right? So this can be a way for parents and for children to be able to have a peaceful retirement in their later years. So I think it's a great start.
It is going to be a game changer for the younger generations
Yeah.
because as many articles as I read about the state of what's happening, one of the main things that sticks out to me is the fact that they're saying that the younger generations will not be able to retire. They're actually saying that Gen Z and millennials will probably be the last generations of Americans to retire unless something changes because of the way that the economy is and the lack of financial education and literacy. So we're excited about the fact that Trump is proposing these accounts for the youth. But we want you to know that there are accounts that are available to you right now that you can take advantage of. And we want to go through and explain to you what those accounts are, what the differences are, so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to choosing the accounts that work well for you and your family. 529s are a big thing. They're state sponsored, they're in the news, and where many accounts may only receive federal government tax advantages, 529s also receive state tax advantages. So they have the ability to really achieve tax-free growth when you use them for education. Now, they are state-sponsored accounts, so they can be used for college, they can be used for trade school, as well as qualified education expenses. And typically, you can contribute way more than what most people are going to contribute to their families, their children's college savings in a year.
That's right.
They're best for education focused goals. So the pros are they could be completely tax-free depending on your state, right? Depending on your state, you might not have to pay any taxes at all as long as you are using it for a qualified educational expense.
529s are very, very powerful, and also as opposed to some other child savings accounts, they may have some income limitations by the parents. 529 do not have income limitations, right? So any parent that want to contribute money for the kids' education can open up a 529, right? So like I said, the vast majority of people, especially in today's economy, don't really contribute significant amount to their kids' education, right? So there are other accounts that you could contribute, less, and you still have the same benefits, So, but 529s are very, very powerful, and as you mentioned, you get the federal and the state, tax benefits associated with that. So it's a powerful, powerful tool for sure for kids' education.
Now, these are the pros. What are some of maybe the cons of a 529? Because they are state sponsored, you do have to be careful because some states have had trouble with their 529 savings plan systems. Maybe because of misallocations, misuse. So, definitely want to get with a qualified financial consultant or advisor and do a little bit of research to find out what may be best for you and your family. So, Doc, you talked about some of those other qualified plans.
Yeah, so Coverdell is another educational savings account, right? It's just as powerful as a 529, but the limitation with the Coverdell is the fact that you can contribute maximum $2,000 per child in the account. While 529, both parents can make significant contributions, right? So when it comes to the Coverdell, there's a max amount you can put into the account. And also, there's also income limitations. If the parents make a certain amount of money, they cannot contribute to a Coverdell, right? But as I mentioned, there's also more investment control, right? In the 529, you may be limited to what portfolios or what investments you can put money in. But in the Coverdell, there's a broader range of investment portfolios or funds you could put the money in, right? So there's more possibly more diversification, right? Which is very key when it comes to investing and building wealth, right? But at the end of the day, these are both very powerful accounts. There's just some minor nuances that people need to be aware of. Like I said, we don't have to go all into detail, right? But if you have more questions, we could touch base on that, at a later point.
Many families choose to, if they can, have both because
Correct.
Coverdales also give you the ability to provide for your K-12
12.
educational
Yep.
expenses as
Yep.
well. So you don't
Yep.
have to wait until, your child goes off to college or
Correct.
trade school to use the funds. If they're in
Correct.
high school, high school can be really expensive with all of the things that are going on, or if they're matriculating through private schools
Correct.
while you have them in school, you have the ability to also use the Coverdell to help
Yes.
pay for those
Yes.
educational
Yes.
expenses.
Yes.
So those
Once
are some
again,
of the reasons why you may decide
have
to
both.
use that account also.
I have a lot of clients that have both. Once again, like I said, there are income limitations when it comes to the cover there. But just kind of deal with your tax professional and your advisor, and they'll be able to kind of help you navigate through that. Yeah.
UGMA or UTMAs, depending on what state you're in, are
Yes.
custodial accounts that are held for a minor. Now, a
That's right.
custodian is going to open this on behalf of the minor, and the minor can actually use it for any purpose that they want to when they become
Right.
18. But the ownership transfers to them at the age of
Yeah.
18. Now, this is a
That's
big
right.
deal, right?
It's a big
Because
deal.
that
It's a
means
big
that
deal.
if you don't teach your child about money, they don't understand the importance of handling money wisely and making wise financial decisions. You can have an 18-year-old daughter that runs off on a motorcycle with the boy you don't want her to go with, and you can't do anything about it. Okay. So the great part is that it is extremely flexible. The
Very,
child
very.
can use it for whatever they want to, whether it's buying a new car, purchasing a home, getting their first apartment, whatever you
Yeah.
want them, whatever they need to use it for. But parental control once they turn 18 is extremely limited.
Whenever I sit down with clients, that's one of the biggest conversations we have, especially when they have children, right? And that's why, as advisors, we have a deep responsibility to educate our clients, right? Because sometimes they might get excited about it, but when you miss that loss of parental control, that's a huge thing that had they known in the beginning, maybe they go a different route. Those plans are extremely powerful. And UGMA stands for Uniform Gift to Minor Act. UTMA, Uniform Transfer to Minor Act. Depending on which state you reside in, it's referred to what differently. And also, depending on which state you reside in, the age at which the minor takes over the account is either 18 or 21, right? So you want to be aware of that, right? And also, the investment options are plentiful, right? And that's what allows parents to be able to truly build wealth for their kids, and also the ability to be able to use it for whatever the kid wants, whether it's buy a car, buy a house, buy an investment property, pay for a wedding, whatever it is, you have flexibility in that account. Like with the UTMA, parents can even transfer real estate into an UTMA compared to the UGMA. So there's, even between the two, there's some minor nuances that you have to be aware of, right? So to me, the goal of this is to provide you guys with a broad base of knowledge and education and know what's available to you. There are plenty of options available. And like I said, in the UGMA, you can be as aggressive as you want or as
Mhm.
conservative as you want. It's wide open, right? So as a parent, when you're trying to decide which way should I go, it's a matter of, hey, do I trust my kids, right? And all parents know their kids, right? Of course, as kids get older and particularly through life, they may change, become more responsible, what have you. But at the end of the day, just understand, if you open up a UGMA, at some point the child may take over that account. right? So I think, like I said, I have it for my kids. It's an amazing way to be able to invest for the future for your kids.
And I tell my parents, listen, you don't have to tell them about it. See, the only way they know about it is if you tell them about it. So even if
That's
at the
right.
age of 18 or 21, it automatically legally is transferred over to them, you don't have to tell them that they have the money, you know?
That's right.
So
That's right.
maybe if you have one of those children that you know aren't going to do the responsible thing with the
Yeah.
money, it's something
Yeah.
that you can kind of keep to yourself and keep private until you feel like they are able to actually handle the responsibilities of the money that you set aside for them. But
Yeah.
a great investment tool.
Yeah.
So the last account we're going to talk about today is a minor Roth IRA. The great thing about a minor Roth IRA is that it has the exact same benefits
Yeah.
as an adult Roth IRA. And
Yes.
most people don't realize that as soon as your children or child earns income, they are able to contribute to a minor Roth IRA.
That's
So if you
right.
have that 13 or 14-year-old that has the summer job, or
That's right.
or they're doing things in the summer to earn income, they can start putting money up for their retirement right away.
That's
It
right.
has the ability to earn tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals in their retirement years. And
Yeah.
this is a powerful long-term compounding opportunity. Can you imagine, instead of waiting until you're 20 or 30 or 40 to start your retirement account, you started
Yeah.
it at 13?
Yeah.
And at 13, you started putting $50 a month away. I
Yeah.
mean, listen to
Yeah.
depending on how much interest you earn, you know how many doubling periods you could have in your lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
absolutely powerful.
Yeah.
The contribution is limited to however much their earned income
Yep.
is. And
Yep.
it is ideal for teens with jobs or teens with their small businesses. You know,
That's right.
kids that do their snow shoveling in the
Yep.
winter and
Yep. Yep.
landscaping in the
Yep.
summer and babysitting jobs, or maybe they come work with you when they're out of school. So a
Yeah.
great way to jumpstart your children's retirement.
Man, I cannot stress this stuff enough. The power behind these accounts. You see, when it comes to building wealth, there are three major factors that everyone needs to consider, no matter where you are in the world. There's time, there's money, and there's interest rate. These three are critical factors when it comes to building wealth. Time is one of the major factors. The younger you are, you have a very long time to build wealth. So the contribution requirement is less. The older you are, the contribution requirement is vastly higher. And most people don't have enough income to be able to achieve or contribute that higher amount. So starting early can literally change your children's life. I have five of them. Each child have these accounts because why? As a parent, I have a responsibility to make sure that I put my kids in the best position possible. Now, not everybody is in a position to be able to open these accounts, right? But just think about it. How many of us blow $50 in a week or even in a day, just blowing that money, right? If you
Mhm.
were to take that money and just put it into the kid's account, let's just say starting from the time the child was born, and each month you put $100 in that kid's account, properly invested. Do you know that in 19 years or 18 years, it's possible for that child to have several $100,000 in the account, possibly a million, depending on what rate of return that account averages over that period of time. This is the
Mhm.
difference and the power in the conversation that we're having right now. I'm a firm believer in this. All my kids have it, right? Because it takes pressure of myself and my spouse to what? So that later on, we don't have to worry about having to cut the money out of pocket. Those accounts are going to grow and generate money. So that when it comes time for college, we're not out here running around helter skelter trying to find the money. That money is going to be in their college account. It's going to be in the non-college account, right? So they have flexibility, right? When they turn 18, it's to go buy them a car or go buy them some crazy gift. they could buy their first property. Can you imagine how you could change your family dynamics and your family financial future just by putting things and setting things up correctly and early?
The great thing about having accounts like 529s, because we have them for our children, different
Yeah,
accounts for our children as well, is that you don't have to be the only contributor. With the
correct. Correct.
529, you actually get a, where other people can donate.
So,
So on
yeah,
my son's birthday invitations, I actually put his 529 information. I would
yeah,
prefer for someone to donate to his 529 than to buy toys that I'm going to throw in the trash
that's
because he's
right.
going to break them or he doesn't need anymore, or
Yeah,
clothes that he has more than enough of. I would
yeah,
much rather you take that $25, $40, $50 and donate it to his college education than buying him a toy or clothes. So, having these accounts set up gives you the power to be able to now say, hey, grandma, grandpa, sister, brother, auntie,
yes.
uncle, hey, donate to this account, as opposed to actually just buying frivolous items.
And one thing I really, really want to stress to all parents, you realize we went over these various accounts very diligently and very clearly, and we explain how they work. You realize no part in that conversation did we mention insurance as a way to invest for your children. You have to be very mindful in who you listen to. Investments and insurance are two very different products and they do two very different things. If you truly want to have your kids have money for their college, you better be sure you choose the right strategy. Okay? Example, I sat with a client yesterday, went over their kids' college, quote unquote, college plan. They've been contributed since 2015, $130 per month. Up until now, 11 years later, they've contributed 17K. Guess
Mm.
what is the value of the account? 17K. So in 11 years, that money has not grown. One of the other kids, they've been contributing since 2019. They put up to 8K. Their account value now is 6. So they actually lost money in 8 years, right? If you look at the market for the past 8 years or 11 years, it's impossible to be that predicament, right? That's because it was a wrong investment vehicle. So don't just say, oh, I have a college account, right? She had a Gerber account, right? And Gerber's everywhere on TV, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say that whether they're bad or good. Just look at your statement and look at what is happening. It will tell you all you need to know.
And if you have put money into an insurance policy as an investment, take a look at your paperwork. Look at what is going. There have been so many times that I've sat with clients and we've looked at their paperwork because they purchased this program in order for their children to have money when they turn 18. And when you
Yeah.
look at the performance and how much money the children will have, it's like $1,800, 2,000. Like, what is your child
Yeah.
going to do at
Yeah.
the age of 18 with $2,000?
Yeah.
Put a down payment on their first apartment? I mean,
Yeah.
like there's really nothing they can really do with that money, and that's not what they were told. That's not what they expected. So I
That's right.
urge you to look at your paperwork, take a few minutes, sit down, look at it, and see if it's performing to the
Right.
standard and the objective that you have for
That's
that
right.
investment. Because
That's right.
if it's not, if you're driving down a dead end road, would you rather know when you drive your car off the cliff, or when you see the warning signs that say dead end ahead, dead end ahead? Would you
Yeah.
want to have time to turn around and
Yeah.
actually go back and make the right turn, right?
That's right.
So we just want to urge you that it is so important for you to turn around if you are, now don't be discouraged, turn around so that you can make the right turn and get
That's right.
to the road that you are trying to get to for yourself and for your children. And again, we are not in any way trying to give you investment advice. What we are
Yes.
doing for you today is
Share the
just
information.
providing you with information about the different types of accounts that are available to you based on your circumstances, your income bracket, your
Yep.
tax
Yep.
challenges or lack
Yep.
thereof. You need to make sure that it's best for you and your family which
Right.
accounts you choose. So get with your financial professional, talk to your accountant or tax advisor to figure out which makes the most sense for you and your family. But
Yep.
again, our goal is to help provide the information because we wish that there was information like this readily
That's right.
available to us when
That's right.
we were trying to figure things out. Finance Unfiltered with the
Right.
Doc and Dean.
That's
Again,
right.
I'm the Dean.
And I'm the doc.
And we're here every Friday, 12 noon. Tune in for important financial information. Until
Right.
next Friday,
Deuces.
deuces.